Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is a handover of a 2018 Elddis AutoQuest 196. So as we start the walk round on the driver's side of the vehicle first, so all your locks open with the tri-mark key. So you've got a flip key here, you've got one round key for the hab door, the motorhome door, and you've got one key for the water filler. So opening the first locker, this is your battery locker. So this includes your 12-volt leisure battery and your hookup point. So when you arrive on site or you're at home and you're home charging the vehicle, you get your hookup lead, lift the collar and expose the end and slide on here first. Put the wire into the groove so you can shut the locker door, shut the door, lock it, and then go and hook the other end into the power point. Then again, using the tri-mark key, this is your cassette locker. So if you push, you open it first, you'll be able to push the buttons in, release the door. Then what you want to do is lift the orange handle and slide the cassette free of the vehicle. You've got some wheels there so you can drag it to your waste disposal point. Remove the cap, press the button and tip the content of the cassette out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap there, so you put some water in, give it a rinse and tip out again. Then you'd fill this cap full of 125 millilitres of liquid, either the green or the blue aqua chemical from Thetford, and pop it back into the vehicle. If you were using the tablets, you would just put it in completely dry, flush a pint of water into the cassette, followed by a tablet which is in a cellophane sachet. If the cassette didn't come out and you couldn't move the cassette, it means you've left the blade open on the inside bowl of the toilet, your grey lever. Shut it and you'll be able to get the cassette out, but I'll explain more of that once we're inside. This is your freshwater intake, so again with one of the round-headed keys, this will open. Push and twist. Carry on board with yourself a hose pipe, some hose pipe connections, as it's mainly just a brass tap on site, and fill your fresh water up. If you were going wild camping, you will have to take a full tank of fresh water with you. Grey top is your waste, so anything you've put down a plug hole goes into a separate holding tank. You'd open that up over a grid on the way out of your site. And then your blue is just what you filled up with. If you want to drain it down for the winter, if you've taken on contaminated water or you're simply not using it for a couple of weeks, you can drain that off. On the back you put your high level brake light, your reverse camera, your bike rack. So you've got a 4 bike rack on here, so you would lift the arms, pull the rail down, put your wheels on the rails and the straps through the spokes that tie the wheels down, and then first, second, third and fourth bike for your crossbars. And then what I would advise is you put some sort of bike lock around the bike, so if you leave the vehicle unattended, your bikes are still going to be on the back. You've got a tow bar on there with 13-pin electrics. Come around the passenger side, LPG, liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker, again opens with the tri-mark key. And you've got room for 2 6-kilogram propane bottles. And what you want to do is you want to put your bottle on board, sit it into the plastic grooves, and then there's a strap, and you want to make sure that goes round the bottle. So you would undo the strap, strap your bottle in, and make sure it's tight so it's safe for travelling. And then turn your bottle off when you are on the road before you leave your site. And to connect your pigtail to the bottle, on this one it's a left hand thread, so opposite threads with it being gas. Hand tighten pigtail, so there's no need for a gas spanner. And carry a second bottle, you can just unscrew that and screw it to your full bottle. But again, make sure they're always strapped in and always turned off before you start travelling. External gas point, so if you're carrying a Kadak or external barbecue, instead of carrying another bottle, put your gas quick release gas connector into here. Get some gas hosing and some Jubilee clips to connect them all together from the gas hose connector to the barbecue point, and then you can turn the gas on and off on the isolation tap, and they'll run off the main bottles on board. You've got your Kiyama awning, the awning light. These are just vents behind your microwave, your fridge vents. Storage at the front, so that's underneath the side facing seat. So you've got a bit of storage in there. You'd use one of the keys to lock the door, so slide down to lock the door, lift it up to unlock the door, and then on the passenger door you do have your diesel filler, which opens with the main ignition key. And because it's a new style diesel engine, it's got the AdBlue. So a full tank of AdBlue on these is the tank holds 19 litres. It'll do around 5,500 miles on a full tank. At about 4,500 miles, it'll warn you that it's time to refill, and it'll give you a mileage countdown. Fill up as soon as possible. Go and buy it on the pumps. It's slightly cheaper than buying it in the drums. Or you can carry a drum with you and top the AdBlue system up. Failing to do so and allowing it to go to 0 on the mileage countdown, and it will mean the engine won't start. Tyre pressure, so 72.3 on the front, 79.5 on the rear. Engine battery lives underneath here, so you just release this panel on the cab floor and your battery's underneath there. And underneath the passenger seat you do have a toolkit, which includes a jackknip brace and a torn eye. Bonnet releases on the side of the dashboard. And underneath the bonnet, so to the left hand side, underneath the driver's side, you've got all your fluids. So you've got your screen wash, 3 tabs on here, releases this cover here, and you've got your power steering fluid next to your screen wash, then your coolant, your brake fluid, your engine oil and dipstick, an earth, and then your positive for giving or receiving a jump start. And then you've got your weight plate on the front, so it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight, 5.5 ton train weight with the tow bar. So once you enter the vehicle, on the side of the gable you do have the 12-volt control panel. So to turn the vehicle on, you've got your master switch here, so you turn your master switch down and this will turn on 12 volt if you're not hooked up, or 240 volt if you are, and you'll get mains power in the vehicle, so you will be able to operate your fridge off mains power. All your mains items, your 3-pin plug items will work. Then you've got your tank heaters here, so if it's going to potentially freeze overnight, pop them on and it will stop the water from freezing in the tanks bolted to the chassis. You've got your awning, so this is a light above the door here outside, so if you're sitting underneath your awning on a night, on a summer's evening, you might want to put that on, or if you go out and you come back to the vehicle, your light's on. You've got lights, which are all your internal lights, and they all are individually switched. You've got volts at the top, so this is the voltage of your leisure battery. Take the hook out and it'll give a true reading. And then you've got this little rocker switch that'll tell you how full the fresh water is on the bottom beneath the blue. You've got your pump, so to circulate water around the vehicle, put your pump on. So if you're using taps, toilet or shower, pop this on and it will bring the water to the surface. Underneath you've got your wheel heating system, so there's loads of videos on these. Top one is hot water, bottom one is van temperature, or should I say van heating, and then this is up and down is the temperature. So at the top of here is 30 degrees, in the middle is 15. So starting off with the top one, which is the water, so you've got off, frost start, which is 5 degrees, one wiggly line, which is 1 kilowatt of mains power, so you've got to be hooked up for this to work, and this is 750 watt. 2 wiggly lines, which is 2 kilowatts of mains power, so again got to be hooked up, and this is 1500 watts. Gas on its own, which is the gas flame, so if you were going to do any wild camping, you'd have to use gas to heat your water and your vehicle because you don't have any access to mains power. You've got gas and one wiggly line, which is gas and 750 watts, 1 kilowatt. And then you've got gas and 2 kilowatts, which is again 150, or should I say 1,500 watts even. And what that'll do is, putting that on together will reduce the time it takes to heat the water or the vehicle. Underneath is the vehicle's temperature, or should I say the heating. And you've got off, 1 kilowatt, 750 watts, 2 kilowatts, 1,500 watts, 3 kilowatts of mains power. Depending on the amperage the site gives you will determine whether you use 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3. So normally 1 kilowatt on smaller CL sites or abroad. 2 kilowatts and 3 kilowatts can be used on most camping and caravanning clubs throughout the UK, depending on what you're also running. So if you're running a kettle and 3 kilowatts, turn it down before you put the kettle on because you can't trip the vehicle out. And then you've got gas on its own if you were wild camping. And then gas and 2 kilowatts if you are in desperate need or away in the winter and you wanted to reduce the time it takes to heat your motorhome. Like I was saying, 15 somewhere here, 30 degrees is all the way at the top. To lock the door, you just push the catch up and show red, go for the lever underneath and it will open up. But you do have a full fly screen on there as well, and a blackout blind for the little window. So now in the kitchen, so on the top you have your hob, which is a 3-burner gas hob. As you can see, all of them are lit. So if you use your gas knobs here and your spark on the front of the Fetford cooker, you'll be able to light these. If you are struggling in the winter, just a little tip for you: when you're igniting each hob, just hold it in until the thermocouple gets warm and then release, and it shouldn't go out, because if you do it too quick, the thermocouple's not getting warm and it's shutting off the gas supply. Underneath you've got your grill, so again, hold that in. As you can see there, it's coming through. Hold it in for a couple of seconds longer and then let go and it will stay lit. And below you do have your oven. Below your oven you do have some storage. These taps again are isolation taps for the gas supply. You don't really need to touch these unless you had a severe gas leak. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. For your safety, turn the bottle off if you are concerned about gas. Storage, you've got 4 large storage drawers and a cutlery drawer. At the top you will just need to buy yourself a cutlery tray. Microwave is mains voltage 800 watts. Press eco and it will wake the microwave up. So to operate your Dometic fridge, you've got a 3-way fridge. So starting off with the dial on the left hand side, you've got off at 12 o'clock. Then moving down, you've got mains volts, which looks like a plug, which if you're hooked up, so if you are pre-chilling it at home before your trip, you'd have it on mains hookup. Or if you were on site, you would use mains hookup. Traveling between home to the site or site to site, you would use battery, which is when the engine's running, it gets a 12-volt feed from the alternator and it'll keep the fridge at the same temperature it was at when departing, so it'll get no cooler but no warmer. So like I say, if you've pre-chilled it, put your shopping in the night before and allow it to chill overnight, pop it onto here, and when you drive, your shopping should stay nice and fresh when you arrive on site. Then you can either go back to hook up, or if you're wild camping, go right at the bottom to 6 o'clock. You've got the gas flame You've got your temperature here, you push that in, push your spark igniter in to light it on gas, and if you push them in together you'll see the orange band there go into the green. Once it goes into the green here, release, and this is lit on gas. But you'd only be using gas if you're wild camping. If you've paid your site fees, don't waste your gas, use their electric, that's what you've paid it for. And then with the fridge, once you have finished using it for the season, or you've put it away for a couple of weeks, take everything out, give it a wipe out with some anti-bac wipes, anti-bac sprays, and then leave the door open. So on the side of the light there's this little tab, push it in and slide these two pins out, and then when you shut the door will not shut properly and it'll stay ajar, and it will allow a circulation of air in and out the fridge to stop the bacteria and mold growing in your fridge when not in use. Also in the kitchen you've got two 3-pin plugs, your lights, your isolation key for your drop down bed, so if you put that to horizontal you can then use up and down to bring the bed down. Don't worry, it only comes so far so it doesn't crash with anything beneath. You've got your ladder here which clips onto here, your safety rails and nets which clip onto here should you be having children in the bed, and you've got one the other side. If you didn't want these you can just tuck them underneath the mattress and then pop the bed back up, press and hold and wait for it to go back up. If you ever had a 12-volt power failure, i.e. your leisure battery went dead when you were wild camping and your bed was down or up, get your handle, pop it in through here, pop it onto the bottom of the motor, and then you can wind the bed up or down, and this will allow you to still use the bed should you be issuing a power failure from your 12-volt leisure battery. So now in your washroom, which is a joint shower toilet area, ensuring the pump's on, you can press the blue button on the back and you'll get a 12-volt flush for your toilet, which is just fresh water, so there's no pink liquid to be used on this vehicle as it doesn't have a separate header tank. If you did buy the twin packs, put the pink into a spray bottle and dilute it, spray the bowl before you flush. But get into the habit of using the toilet like this, so flush before use to lubricate the seal between the blade and the seal to stop it from sticking. Once you've flushed and put a little bit of water in, open the grey lever, which is your blade, so slide it to the right. Use the toilet with the blade open so everything goes into the cassette, then flush after use, and again spray with pink now because it gives a smell and fragrance and cleans the bowl, and then just slide this back to the left to isolate the blade, which shuts off the toilet from the cassette, so then you can get it out from the outside should it indicate that it's full. If this was to be left open, you'll not get the cassette out. And then you get a light on here when the cassette is full. You've got a toiletry cabinet, a shower screen there to go up. Push your sink plug in and out. When you winterize it, so you drain it all down of water, so you've done your fresh and your waste outside, you would then leave all your mixer taps open, unscrew your shower head from your shower hose and lie the hose into the tray, just so any water in the coil will just drain out and not freeze and crack any pipes. Underneath your side bench seat on the driver's side of the vehicle, if you lift it up, this is your pipes for your blown air heating. So you've got your intake ducts and then your ones that distribute it around the vehicle. If you notice here, just down beside, you've got a little red button. So this red button is a reset button, so if you ever get a red exclamation mark on the heating panel for the heating, not the hot water, press this button. It will reset the board for the boiler and it will override the error should it be able to, and it will restart the panel. It's exactly the same on the other side. This one is for your water, so I'll show you that in a moment. So this is your hot water boiler. This yellow tap is your drain down toggle tap. So it's very important that you drain the vehicle down, especially in the winter, because with the chance of frost, you don't want to get frost damage on your boiler or in your vehicle. So you would drain this off. So push this to the front. When it's across, it's holding water. When it's to the front, it is draining water, and this boiler holds 10 litres of water. It's not covered under warranty, so it's your responsibility to drain it down. So drain this one off first, then drain your fresh and your waste outside. Open all your taps and remove your shower head from your shower hose, and allow the hose to lie in your shower tray to drain off any water that could coil up in there. And you'll notice at the back you have a red button as well, and this is a reset button for your boiler. So this is if you're trying to put on the hot water, which is the top one on the panel, and it comes up with a red exclamation mark. Just come in, press and hold, you'll hear it click. Same with the heating one, which is on the other side of the vehicle. Hear it click and it will reset the panel. But make sure you drain it down, so push that the front from around October time, end of October, to the back end of March, once we are through the bad weather and frost. Otherwise, if it does freeze, it's very expensive to replace and repair, and because it's a motorhome, it's got plastic pipes for weight. These are easily cracked with ice, so make sure it is drained down. To make your bed at the back, you just lift these up slightly, slide them into each other, and then use your backrests to go in the middle, turning them upside down, and there you have a large double bed at the back. You can turn these upside down as well, because they've got a bullnose on the front, and you get a flatter surface to sleep on the back, or turn them round and have these facing the wall. You've got your tally points, so you've got TV aerial, 12 volt and two 240 volt plugs. All your little reading lights are individually switched, and then you can connect your telly here. So this lifts off 4 screws and it connects your telly, but we always advise that it's best to take your telly off when traveling. But if you're looking to get a telly, get a 12 volt one. Avtex are the best on the market, but you can get other 12 volt tellies which are quite good. Privacy blind in here, so it'll shut the back end of the vehicle off from the front. You've got your on and winding handle, your infill cushion for you, which goes on top of your table when you drop your table down to make your bed there, which I'll show you. But you do have your TV aerial, so always make sure that it's pulled down when traveling. So when the pole is fully into the vehicle, fasten the nut, and if you are struggling to get a signal, you can push it up and fasten the nut, and then use the black collar. You can turn this and it will direct the aerial on the roof. You do have an amplifier as well, so you can scroll back and forth to boost or bring down the signal should it be too high. You'll notice you've got a freestanding table, so you can have that at the back or outside should it be a nice day. And then you've got some storage drawers beneath the wardrobe. So to make the bed out your double dinette, slide the 2 pins back underneath the table, which will release the table off the wall, and these are the pins I'm on about. And then on the leg, it's a little button, so if you push it, hold the leg down, and then rest the table on the runners underneath the cushions to there. Put your infill cushion, which can be found in the wardrobe, the big one, into here. And then what you want to do is pull this forward, similar to the back beds, by pulling it forward and then popping your backrest in there and pushing your cushion up. And there you have a double bed. Your fuse box and RCD unit can be found underneath the travelling seat, which is directly behind the driver's seat. So there's your battery box coming in, and you hook up your orange wire. Here is your trips and your trip tester, so all your MCBs and RCDs, and then you do have your 12 volt fuses. So the standard blade fuses do carry some spares with you, just in case they do blow. You can just replenish the fuse and fix the issue. This is just showing that your hot water is now working and getting up to temperature. So if you let it run through, you can see the steam coming off the water, and that's very hot water now.